Alright, we're live now. I'm just gonna do a sound check. We're just testing 1, 2, testing the audio.
What's up, guys?
Alright, audio's cool. I'm just gonna put it on Facebook as well. So, alright guys, we're live at the moment. And I'm just doing a few technical things. Maybe Gov, you can kick the show off while I do that.
Hi guys, how's it going? My name is Gav.
Tell us about yourself, man. Like, what's happening, bro? Like, open up, man. Like, you got the camera on you.
Yeah, me and Christian, we've been friends for about for 4 or 5 years now, and this is the first time I'm doing my podcast, and we've been through a bit of a journey, and mainly about finding yourself and how to get the advantage in life, and that's our topic for today. So we're going to talk about all the things that guys go through, all the things that matter when it comes to performing well in life, and how can we do that, and what are the obstacles, what are the pitfalls, and everything in the middle. So we're going to talk about lessons learned and things that we have learned. Pretty excited.
Thank you, Gov, man. Thank you for
no, that's better. That's better.
All right. So absolutely, and thanks for sharing. First of all, thanks for coming down to the place, Gov. It means a lot. And so, how can people get the advantage in life?
So, before I answer that question, so I think it's important that we understand the context, like where we've come in the last 4 or 5 years, and what we do and stuff. So, long story short, we met through a friend. We started going out, probably in early 20s to mid 20s, and at that point in time, you are still learning, still evolving. And now that, I'm 30 now, so there has been so many experiences that has led my life, and performing at a level where I do what I love, which is about fitness. I was studying accounting, doing 9-to-5 job. So I've been through that journey where you do things because other people, because of the society, because of your parents and stuff. So moving away from that and finding that inner voice and finally listening to it and going for it. So that is the journey that I've taken, and that has gotten me where I am. So I run a personal training business where I focus on body transformation, and majority of the body transformation, it is transforming the mind and making a person clear on why they are doing this and what is important to them, and getting in touch with their own highest values. And that is basically what today's topic is: how to get the advantage in life. And that is to understand yourself a lot more deeply and understand your intuition, understand what things make you happy, what things give you energy. So
yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot to unpack in this show, and yeah, I think the one thing that you said that really stands out is the intuitional side. And I guess it's funny because most people might look at this video and think, oh, what are you guys talking about? It's a bit airy-fairy. But I think intuition is definitely a strong part of the human body, human mind. And can you elaborate on that? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I can elaborate on that. So, for example, I'll use this example in bodybuilding industry quite a bit. Like someone who has been doing really well in the fitness world, they are looking good and all that stuff. So you get this high. And when you're on high, you think you're smashing out life. And then to balance things out, something will happen in your journey, and that would bring you back down. So everything in universe is trying to bring you back to balance. And that's where the learning curve comes in. So you cannot be, if you're prideful, you're going to attract something that's going to bring you down to balance. And I think I have the habit of moving away from the real question, because I go and I talk about my ideas, and you have to just keep me on track today. So
it's all good, bro. It's all good. I mean, okay, so so we're going down a bit of a journey here. So okay, like bodybuilding, like how is you said that being like intuitional in bodybuilding, and I guess if you do something long enough,
Yeah, intuition. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking
hang
about.
Hang on a
Right?
second. Okay, all right. So in intuition, basically. So what I was saying was, when you are being prideful, there is that slight whisper of intuition to like, okay, you need to bring things back a little bit. But when you put yourself too down, then your intuition is telling you, okay, get back into balance. Like you're not the underdog here. You've got to believe in yourself. So we are in extreme polarities, and when we are on one polarity, our intuition is guiding us to go back into balance, and that is what the balance that I'm talking about. For example, you had other podcasts with someone who is a heavy meat eater, and then there is like such a polarity on that they're like, oh my god, meat eating is the only best thing. But from their experience, it has been the best thing maybe because it brought them back to balance. However, if you are only going to be eating meat all the time, you are going to still have nutrients that are going to be lacking. And that is where it's going to bring you down to balance. You need plants. Plants are the first source of protein. Because I am myself plant-based, so I've been vegetarian all my life, which is quite the contrary of the last episode what I've seen that you did.
Yeah, so here at the Christian Buddy Show, we do like a little bit of controversy. So, but look, I think, I'm not a vegan or vegetarian myself, but I respect that. I respect that way of life, and I don't eat that much meat, to be honest. And so you saying that, are you saying? I'm going to ask you the question, direct question.
All right, let's do it.
We can live a life. We can do whatever. We can go to the gym on plant-based only. Is that what you're saying?
I've been plant-based. I've never eaten meat in my life. Okay. So I've.
Do you supplement B12?
Absolutely. So you need to. That's where I want to have the knowledge that what we need is that anything that you're doing, take a brain with you. Follow your heart, but take a brain with you. Okay. So understand what is the full spectrum of plants. What is the full spectrum of eating meat? Right. So I'm not neglecting the fact that there might be some benefit, but I think on a conscious level, we are expanding and we are taking on bigger challenges. And one of those challenges is to become more in tune with yourself. And that is the spiritual world. Whereas it kind of, there is a level where it did serve us to eat meat. And now it's going to the level that because of mass population, there's a lot of production of cattle, and we breed these animals into existence so that we can eat them, which is very, it's not an efficient way to live. So you can't sustain planet through that. And now when we understand that, so we need to understand more plant-based. And that's where the controversy is. Like some people are thinking, oh, is that perfect, or is the plant-based perfect? But I think for every person that I would want them to first understand what's in the plant-based. And so in to answer your question, yes, you can be vegan and you can be plant-based and win competitions. You can win fitness competitions. I've been natural all my life, and that's what I did for the last 2-3 years before COVID, educating my clients on how to become the best version of themselves on a vegan diet.
So picking apart the vegan diet, so what are some things that people can be eating? Like, let's say I'm a carnivore and I want to switch to vegan diet. Like, what are some practical advice that you would give your clients? Or
Absolutely. So first of all, you cannot make a quick switch to plant-based diet, because if you do that, you might miss out on a few nutrients. So education comes first. So every single person, regardless of their age, their gender, their activity level in the day, and what is their goal, and how much body fat do they carry, it will determine their goal. So if you have a high body fat percentage, you want to move that down so you can be free from problems such as cholesterol, diabetes, overweight, obesity. And so according to those factors, you have an energy requirement in the day. You've got your protein requirement, you've got your carbohydrates requirement, you've got your fats requirement. The traditional method is basically we are just winging it. People who don't know nutrition, like I didn't know about nutrition, and I was very skinny, almost didn't know anything about nutrition. So if you understand what is your intake of your protein, carbs, and fats, and what micronutrients do you need, so your vitamins and minerals in the body, so which the other girl last week, she was talking about the nutrients in the food, right? So it is about understanding how you can get those vitamins and minerals, protein, carbs, and fats from sources which are sustainable and perhaps from plant-based alternatives. That's it. So that's the first thing I would look at. Understand your protein requirement for the day, understand your carbohydrates, and understand your fats, because these three fundamentals are going to shape up your energy, how do you look, or how lean you are, or how obese you are. So yeah, so that's the first step.
I've heard that if we're eating meat, then we're getting it's more efficient for the body. Is there any truth to that, or is that sound made up?
Look, every information will have some truth to it, but there will be so many. Again, going back to like polarity. If you follow only one polarity, okay, this is the only best way, I think that's where there is a mistake.
Okay.
So if you are eating that, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that, because you want to survive. And people have been eating for a long time.
Yeah.
But now that we're getting more aware of it, and again, the problem is about having production of meat for everyone, because so much demand, right? And in that process, the quality is getting, I don't think it's the best quality.
Yeah.
Your meat, whether it is fish, if you watch Seaspiracy on Netflix, if you watch Game Changers on Netflix, you get the understanding on how these things that we think are good for us are economically sustainable. There is a question mark. Are they really? Yeah. So that curiosity is what I have. And I want to understand. And I'm still understanding. And my net result that I've seen so far is weighing the pros and cons for each. We are better off having better health on a plant-based diet, but understanding what macronutrients and what micronutrients you need, that is the key. Understanding. Okay. So we're going back to science. It's not about beliefs. A lot of people have different beliefs, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, the truth is where we believe in science. And that's where I think my understanding of plant-based diet is far more advantageous for longevity, but also in your spiritual conquest. And we can talk about that. That's a very interesting topic.
The spiritual conquest. Damn, yeah. Man. I thought like I got to be meditating for like 60 hours a week and be on top of a mountain and that's what goes through my mind when you say spiritual conquest. That's what goes through my mind. What do you mean by spiritual conquest?
Okay, all right, let me explain. So basically, when I say spiritual, I don't mean by following a certain religion, or it is believing in something that is bigger than yourself. Like, for example, our existence. What is the intelligence that has put Earth in a perfect spot from the sun, revolving around it, going through space, and there is life on it, right? Now we're in the galaxy. So this is like, it has to be some form of intelligence, right? Now,
sorry to stop you. Do you believe in flat Earth?
No.
So you heard that right here, guys.
Absolutely not.
Do not attack me. You got to attack God. You got to attack this guy, man.
I'm sorry, guys, to the flat earthers. I love you, but no, I don't believe in that cause.
So okay, where were we? So you were saying, sorry to cut you off there, but we're going into spiritual conquest land. What's the land? Yeah. What is it? Okay, tell me what the land looks like.
So basically, when you're eating plant-based foods, when you're eating foods carry energy, right? So energy from a plant versus energy from meat would have different vibration. So there was this study done, which is a very famous study, water. What are the energy that water stores in certain places and things that you say to the water? So the crystallization of that water occurs, and you can see beautiful synchronous water comes through when it is love. When it is, Beethoven music, when there is harmony. But when you freeze that water crystals, it becomes different,
different shape.
The crystallization is like not as amazing as it would be with the immersion So everything goes back to energy. So there is a vibration that is happening, when you cut an animal. when you're cutting an animal, it's a very extreme thing. Most people don't want to talk about it. But when we are talking about spiritual conquest, if you're eating plant-based foods, you're able to meditate a lot more easier, and you can connect to the conscious level. And most people, when they, if they do things like, which is another controversial topic, things like mushroom or ayahuasca, they feel connected to earth. They feel connected to everyone as it is one. And that is the point where most people don't get to, because they are so much in their animal mind. In the animal mind, that there is that struggle of life and death. And when you're eating that, you are more likely to struggle. You're not elevating your consciousness or letting it through you. And I did Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation. I went through the retreat, which is one of the top meditation guys healing the planet at the moment. And I also did a lot of work with Dr. John DeMartini, his work. And I've spent a lot of time and effort in with this personal development and conquest. So everything that I'm talking about, it comes down to balance. And that is what I want to push through, so that if you are more balanced, you are going to get advantage in life, because you're not polarized by one thing or the other. Does that make sense with the spirituality and the meditation? So if you're eating more meat-based, more suffering energy, it pulls you down.
I kind of understand what you're saying. So yeah, if we're eating like an animal that's been through pain, so you're saying that energy is stored through the meat that we're eating. Okay, so that's interesting. So so I guess then my next question is, do you believe in aliens?
I don't know about aliens. I'm sure there is more than just human life out there. There has to be another galaxy. There has to be, like, universe is very intelligent. I think we are in our five senses. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's all good. Sorry, man. Okay. Okay. We're just getting some technical. What the hell is going on? Error. That's all right. That's fine. We can keep going. Yeah, keep going.
So there is, that intelligence that we don't see, because we've got five senses that we are experiencing life with. So your eyesight, touch, hearing, smell, and what else?
Smell, hearing, touch.
Taste.
Taste.
Yeah. So our human experience is limited with these five senses. When you're meditating, you're actually going in another realm, which is when you close your eyes, it's all black. And that's what Dr. Joe Dispenza's study goes into. That void is where everything is created. But to give you an answer, I do believe there is more intelligence out there, and perhaps there is another Earth in another faraway galaxy that we haven't reached yet. It is far away from our understanding. There is a possibility. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love the idea of there being aliens, and I don't know. Like I mean, when you look at the size of the universe, like when you look at everything there, you like surely there has to be something that exists, So
it's a possibility, and I think
it's a possibility.
I'm a guy all about possibilities. So yes, I definitely think there has to be intelligent form.
So yeah, it's interesting because I'm kind of switching topics again. I'm sorry, I'm a bit fast going through the topics, but I think the next topic, because Gov, this is my house here at the moment. My apartment. And we're in the studio at the moment. And as Gov walked in, he noticed a lion's mane bottle, and the first thing that said to me, he's like, "Oh, you have these and you have wicked dreams, And I'm like, "Wow, okay." So the topic of dreams, that's coming up now.
I like the fact that we're going like how to get advantage in life, and there are so many things that we have spoken right now. In order to give you a recap, if you just joined, so in the last 5-10 minutes, we have spoken about how to get advantage in life, a little bit of my story, how long we've been together, we've grown in life, our experience, and then talking about vegan and carnivore polarities, how to bring back into balance, and now we're talking about dreams and universe and aliens, so it's quite a bit of a journey there.
That's it, man. Christian Buddy Show. We don't play around. We take things pretty loose and at the moment. But I guess dreams, do you think they mean something, or do you think it's just random stuff that's going on in the brain that doesn't really make any sense, or do you think there's some meaning towards what's happening?
It's actually quite funny you asking that, because I was talking about one of my mentors, so John DeMartini. So he is a person who has studied different sciences, like studied psychiatry of the person, how does the brain work, the neurology, and we spoke about dreams as well. So dreams happen to balance memories in your mind. So dreams happen. So when you take lion's mane mushroom, if you guys are watching, if you find that you want to have vivid dreams, have it at night, and just a little bit at night. So lion's mane mushroom, it helps with cognitive function and nerve health. So that will make you remember dreams very vividly. And going back to dreams, dreams usually happen to balance perspective in our mind. For example, if you are a boy in a third world country, or a girl in a third world country, and you are working for no education, you're working in a place like making tea or in a restaurant, right? And the big boss is trying to suppress you, like, because that things happen. There's always, especially at some point in our life, there is someone who is suppressing us, whether it be a boss or a house or some sort of or government. So what happens is when you go back dreaming, those dreams happen, and where you are overcoming those dreams, or overcoming those obstacles. And that is an example of how our brain is wired to bring balance. So everything goes back to how the body is going back into balance, and that's what dreams are. And you can make meaning out of it, but in my opinion, that's the memory balancing happening in you.
You can make meaning of it. Yeah, I've had some, because my grandmother passed away maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and she keeps coming into my dreams and keeps checking up on me. So I think, look, yeah, like you can make the argument that there's no ration, that there's no, you have dreams and it's just to consolidate your memories, or there's like some scientific explanation behind it. But it's like open for interpretation. I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's a difficult one, because I'm going on this, it's difficult to kind of say what they mean 100%, so
so what 3 things we control is our perception, our actions, and our beliefs, right? So if that is happening in your mind is trying to balance it, and maybe perhaps you miss her. That's something in the memory that you have, that, but I'm just speculating, I'm not sure about this, but you are giving those dreams meaning, and they are happening for a reason. Maybe that is something that you want to consolidate with that memory, that what it could have been or what if should have been. So,
well, I don't know, man. I feel like she's always trying to guide me. I feel like every time something, or I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, she'll kind of pop up and kind of give me a clip over the ears and say, hey, stop doing what you're doing and focus on.
Interesting, because perhaps that is your intuition. Because we spoke about intuition before.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could be, it could very well be, but I mean, yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm choosing to believe that it's the entity, and that probably sounds really crazy and really trippy, but
yeah, but that's fine. So that's your belief, or maybe it's helping you, that belief, right? Now I want to talk about 3 things: perceptions, beliefs, and actions. Like, these are the things that we can control. What do we choose to believe in, right? So going back to balance of your body. So for example, whatever your passion is, well, let's talk about that, because it's about how to get an advantage in life.
That's right.
And let's go to the topic of having void. For example, a person growing up, their dad being really big, and dads from many countries,
like Macho Man Randy Savage, or like, what do we,
but
John Cena, or like Big Show from
anyone, like maybe perhaps they're big than the kid, because kid is a kid, and then they all have gotten to a point where we would have slapped like my dad did. Usually just to bring that kid back into balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In their parents' eyes, okay. But in that moment, that kid is thinking that, oh, that is so big, I don't have no control over it. I need power. Do I get power? Maybe I need to be big. And then he asks his mother, he's like, how is that so big? He eats a lot, and he was like, oh, okay. Now he's making the connection point that he has to eat in order to be big, right? With the father. Now, many years pass, and now he's starting the habit of having a lot of food, and that his perception and belief around it. And now they're back into the father and son has a loving relationship. Okay? And then when he grows up, he's going through personal trainers and stuff like that, and he's like, man, I'm having a really hard time losing weight. And then me going back and having a chat, I'm like, okay, yes, I can give you strategies with like how much protein, carbs, and fats you, how much macronutrients, and all that, and give you exercise and programming. But then when having this chat, like, oh, okay, so why do you think you are this way? Then he has to think that. Now he's thinking, okay, why do I choose to? Because so many people, they come in, they know what is right, but they still can't do it. Because those beliefs have been formed so deeply. And now you're going back down to your memory lane, why I do what I do. And this is a big part about counseling. So when someone's going to counseling, they dig into you. Why do you perceive, believe in such a way? So when he goes back down to child memory, when he's having this thing and he had absorbed the idea that he had to eat a lot in order to become big, and now it's giving him a problem when he's like adult. So he's like, oh, but my relationship with my father is pretty good. And when he understands and solves that issue, that he was the one who created that perception at that point in time when he was a child, and he corrects that memory, and then he's like, no, I don't need to eat that much food to be big or powerful. That makes sense? And now he's like, oh,
yeah, but like, what's your definition of power? Because
well, that is an example. That is because us being, we perceive things in a different way at different ages. I'm sure right now we would have done things when we were 15. We'd be like, oh fuck, I'm so embarrassed. But at that point, it was like the best idea. So
yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, how to get advantage in life is understanding yourself more. And so how do you understand yourself? That's the big question, because there's so much information out there. There's like social media, you can watch those, you can watch how to get more charisma, you can watch how to get better body, how to get more girls, but who are you really? Like, it boils down to what are your values, and they come mostly from what are your voids. Voids mean what you didn't have as a kid. So that will become your highest value. So someone who's really poor, for them, their highest value might be, I want to earn more money. Or someone who is skinny and frail, they'll be like, I want health, right? Health and beauty. And someone, your beliefs and perception and your voids specifically tells you what things you need to overcome. That's your intuition telling you. It's always been there. It's just that mostly people don't take action on it, because that's what they want in life. Right?
Why aren't people taking action on it?
Maybe because of societal pressures, upbringing. Maybe they will disappoint their peers, or they will stay away from their peers. That's individual, what memories an individual has and perceptions an individual has.
Yeah. Okay. So, we kind of touched on a little bit about girls and then relationships and things like that. And I think because I'm a deep believer that you need to have the 3 pillars in life. It's like it's like spiritual, health, relationships, and financial. So 4 pillars. So I think getting an advantage in life, we need to have that relationship in order. Yeah. So how can we get an advantage in the relationship department?
All right, let's expand. What relationship? Relationship with yourself?
With another human being.
With another human being.
So let's say we're a single male, and we're talking. I mean, I want to include everyone. So we're talking about homosexuals and we're talking about heterosexuals. So we're talking about everyone. We're just talking about finding love. So I don't want to be biased. I want to include everybody. So how does Dr. Gov?
I'm not a doctor, by the way. That's just making.
I'm just joking. No. No, but I want to hear your insight. I want to hear your what's your like about relationships and about your experience, and take us wherever you want to take us.
Okay, great. So the topic of today is how to get advantage in life. When you're talking about love, I think we need to ask a better question. The question should be, how do we attract a person that is going to help us have the best human experience?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good question.
So what is the best level of relationship, that person? Now, as I was saying before, everything goes back down to you and understanding yourself more. So when you have a good understanding of yourself and you're doing what you love, is your 4 pillars, So can I expand on those 4 pillars just very quickly before I go back to love?
Go for it.
So Christian has 4 pillars, which are finance, relationship, health. What was the last one? Spirituality.
Wealth.
Spirituality.
Yeah.
So I have 7 areas of life, which I call it. That's what I've learned from my life. So we've got health, wealth, business, relationships, wisdom, social leadership, and spirituality. So 7. Okay. I know there might be too many to count. So we want to become the best in every single area of our life. That's what gets me going. I love life when all of my areas of my life are going. You're learning that you love. You're having a loving relationship with yourself and other people around you. You are doing what you are excited about and you love again, right? You are having an impact of some sort, maybe your family, maybe on other people, maybe on yourself, anyone, right? And then you are also on a conquest or spiritual journey, becoming that next best version of yourself and understanding universe. Make sense?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
So we spoke about love, right? And I'm like, okay, let's expand love into all 7 areas. Yourself, so your health, you're loving yourself.
I'm with you now.
You're having a good body, which is mobile, which is functioning. You are free from any sort of issues in health. So there is love there. Health, wealth, there is love there. You are doing what you love and you're making good money, right? Good money, and you're not stressed about it. You're not killing yourself. And business, what you're doing is what you love. You have amazing, great relationships around. You are doing something that helps other people, or whatever your cause is, whatever you truly believe in your heart, and that there is that love in there, right? And then you are looking above and, okay, what is the next thing possible, which is your spiritual conquest, perhaps? And so these are now we've talking about love, right? Now, when you are moving ahead in every single area of your life with love, you will attract the person who is going to be at that energy level. You get me now? So we were talking about energy. So love is the ultimate form of intelligence. So if you had someone who was on a carnivore diet and I'm vegan, I have love for that carnivore person because she, according to her beliefs, perceptions, and actions, thinks that has given her life because of her nutrients. Now, who am I to judge if that person is perceiving at this point in time? Maybe at some conquest, when maybe perhaps it comes down to spiritual conquest, she will understand there is so much power in plants. Earth is just giving us. It's just there, the source. So I'm saying that her journey, she's on her journey, and I have love for that person, even though she doesn't believe in my way of looking at life. So love is the ultimate form of intelligence. And if you want to attract the person, the best people around you, I think doing what you love and being true to yourself and loving yourself is the best.
Okay, loving yourself. Okay.
So 7 areas of life.
But what if I hate myself? What if I'm just kind of playing a bit of devil's advocate here. What if because there's a few people, I've spoken to a few people on the podcast, and they had instances where they would slit their wrists, and which is pretty tragic. I mean, because this podcast is about bringing positive hope and sending out a positive message to those listening. So I know this is how to gain an advantage in life, but we also want to try and help as many people as possible as well. So what goes through your mind, Gov? Like when people come with you, maybe they're at the gym, they want to lose weight, or maybe they got some problems with their life. What do you say to those people?
Actually, yeah, it's a very, very good point. So we talk about pain and being in pain, and people are like, I hate myself, right? So I'm going to give my example because that's the best example. A lot of people can relate. Going to the gym. So when I was really young, I was very, very skinny. My parents didn't know much about nutrition. So I was like, why am I skinny? Why? So there is no authority in that. No one gives you that respect. But everything is playing in my mind, my beliefs, my perception, right? So I'm like, I see Sylvester Stallone movie, Rocky.
This guy's jacked.
No, I am that guy.
Yeah.
Not only because he's jacked, but from all the adversity in life, become a champ.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
There is something. And I started doing push-ups. So there was that relation, something that I wanted to see myself in his shoes. I'm like, that is my story. And that Rocky was such a hit at that point in time. It won an Oscar.
Yeah, it
was such an incredible. So for a boy, that was like everything, right? So in the moment, I was in the pits. And the intuition wasn't, it was always there. It was guiding me through, but I didn't know how to. So that's when I was in pain. And when you go to the gym, you've got this, focus. You're there to better yourself. So now the thing that I'm going through that pain is because that pain, there is a reason and meaning behind. And there is a bigger cause. So I want to, this is my present reality, but I want to change that present reality. And people who cut themselves, people who are, perhaps not in a great mental space, I think that happens when you can't find the way.
Like the ways, like it's like a
exactly. So
like
your intuition, your intuition is like, okay, how do I? So there is no rational thinking on how. That perspective isn't changing, and they don't know how to.
But maybe they're like in a very toxic environment, like
maybe.
Like we're blessed to kind of live a life like we wake up and we can do whatever we want, But maybe these people wake up and they have to work a job that they don't like, and maybe they have abusive parents, or maybe they have some real toxic people in their life, and that's maybe the reason I got to end this. I want to get out. So I guess I'm just sending a message of hope. You need to stay in there because it's the person that. I mean, this might sound all good because I'm in a nice, comfortable place at the moment, but I guess the person that never gives up will eventually win, or will eventually get to the place. So don't give up. Anyone who's listening, don't give up. So I'm just sending a positive message out there. So yeah,
that's a pretty good message, and I think maybe someone out there is perhaps listening right now or will listen to this, be like, there was something in that podcast.
It wasn't. It was just, maybe I had some mushrooms before. Maybe
you did have some mushrooms. Yeah, no, we're just kidding, guys. So talking about people who are not in a great mental space and they perhaps are cutting themselves. So I feel that is.
It depends on the level, the spectrum where they're at.
Yeah, because we don't know. Everyone's having a very different experience on the earth at the moment, right? Some people are having an incredible experience. Some people maybe not so much. However, I want to talk about this very specifically. Like, for example, Oprah Winfrey. She's gone through so much adversity and still be able to find what she loves. And obviously, she's like, I think she's one of the first person that I can think of who changed herself from that adversity and became such a spokesperson for so many people in the world. So maybe perhaps if you are in a mental space right now where you feel to harm yourself or you feel that you don't know how to, the answers are there. And there are people who have been in a similar circumstance exactly where you are, and they had faith and hope. But all I want you to say is keep on looking. Keep on looking, keep on understanding yourself. And I can give you a few resources if that really helps you. The number one thing that really changed my life was attending one of the seminars by Dr. John Demartini. It's called the Breakthrough Experience. So if you are someone who is in that mental space, definitely look him up and go through one of his programs, because that is actual breakthrough. And that definitely changed a lot of perspective in my life. And there's a lot of introspect and you look within for answers rather than outside. And that is the point when everything shifts. So if you're someone who is looking for the sign or the information, that is a very, very good place to start. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I had a guy on the podcast. I had a guy on the podcast previously, and I think he was a John DeMartini type of guy. He was studying that as well, and
really?
he was he was talking about your highest purpose. I'm not sure if
that's exactly what highest values.
Highest values. Yeah, we all have we all gravitate towards this highest value. Yeah.
I wanna go through highest values. If you don't mind.
Go for it. Yeah.
So basically, since we're talking about how to get advantage in life, I want you to think of yourself, whatever your journey is, you have a very specific memory and experience that you have been experiencing in the world since you were born. Your brother, sister, family, mom, dad, whatever country. And those experiences are shaping you, how you view things in the world, right? Now, subconsciously, you gravitate to some things. The things that you gravitate towards usually are going to be voids. Right? For example, because I was, not happy with myself, my body at a point, and I was like, man, I need to change this. I need to learn about nutrition so that I can have health. So whatever your experience has been on this earth at this point in time, and if you're unhappy at this point in time of life, I want you to understand what are the things that give you energy, what are the things that are realistically that you are doing and you gravitate towards, it excites you, it brings you purpose. And there are 13 questions with the John DeMartini. So those 13 questions, I do it every 3 months, understanding what are my highest values. At the moment, my highest values are social impact, which is why I'm here, fitness and health, and business and wealth. So these are my top 3 values.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to help people, have an impact, move myself, give myself love there. Bringing meaning and purpose to my whatever time that I'm going to be revolving Earth, and do something about it. Also, being able to get handsomely paid for stuff that I am doing, that I enjoy, and also experience good health. And okay. I can help other people also have a similar experience like what I am experiencing in this life. Okay.
Thanks for sharing that. But do you think, like you said, being paid handsomely, do you think, how realistic of a goal do you think it is? Do you think it's obviously something that you need to work hard at, or it's not going to just fall in your lap? There needs to be some structure, there needs to be some goals that you need to hit, or...
Yeah, well, this is where the understanding yourself when it comes to even relationships or making more money. It is what are the things that you gravitate towards? I would always give my example because that's the best example that I can give. I didn't have health, so fitness was something that I always wanted. And that is where I help a lot of people to have that body transformation done. And that gives me a lot of joy. So I studied accounting, by the way. So I did work for 9 to 5 and I was hating my life at that point. So I was like, okay, you know what? I did the calculation. I'm going to get 60 grand, 70, 80, 90, maybe 100 grand, 120 grand, 150 grand for something that I have to work 9 to 5. Fucking sucks, and it's going to take me probably 7-10 years to get where I want to get. At the same time, I haven't enjoyed myself, and I've pretty much let my youth go. So at that point in time, it just switched in my mind. I was like, it's not fucking worth it. So, and luckily, I went through a breakup.
Ooh, okay.
That changed. That changed a lot of things in my life.
Yeah.
And at that point, I decided I am only going to do something that I love. Nothing else, but something that I love with everything, right? And I was like, I have nothing to lose. At least I'm going to have the best experience of my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to go and wing it. And then I started studying personal training and fitness and stuff. So my friend was like, are you sure? It's such a saturated market. Are you going to do that? You're not, super big. You're not extremely, have a big following. And I'm like, you know what, bro? I just love it. At least I have to give it a try. And then everything turned out. So I did that course. I found a job. I was like, I'm going to give it a good shot. And I started to do these body transformations. And these people started to change their lives. I could see how mentally they empowered themselves. And specifically this one guy who was making coffees as a barista, and then now he owns business he owns a cafe, and he changed his body. And I think I might have a photo somewhere.
Yeah, show
this person. Can I show?
Yeah, go for it.
That one. Which camera?
Both. You probably do this one. Yeah, and then
that body transformation. So we are looking at a lot of change in lifestyle, the mindset, and I've got all these body transformations which I only was carrying today. So that is where the health came into. I was like, okay, that's my void. I need to make sure that I do that. And all of a sudden, people are like, yeah, I wanna have that health now. And I've got one transformation, and then the person's like, oh yeah, I want to do that transformation. I was like, okay, perfect, let's do that. So I'm going through with these guys. I have understanding of how to shape their understanding of nutrition, their body, their health, bringing a new relationship to themselves. And I love of me doing what I love is transferring the energy to my product now. I became the product, right? And now I'm expanding. I've been doing for 4 or 5 years this personal training business.
Do you feel like you have almost like unlimited energy, or like not unlimited, but like a very high level of energy because it's your passion? Because
I absolutely love it. Like the biggest smile of my day is when someone comes in and has a check-in of their weight and they've lost body fat percent, or they are getting closer to that goal. And I competed. I was like, okay, well, you know what? Everyone says you're a vegetarian or you're a vegan. I've been vegan for like last 4 years now. So they're like, oh, if you're a vegan, you can't build that much muscle. Or if you're vegetarian, like, you know what? I understand why my mother had that belief. I'm going to stick to it. And then I was like, you know what? It's actually a great opportunity for me to compete. And maybe I'll lose. Perhaps I will give it a good shot. I was focused. That's all I was doing. The only focus was changing my client's life and their bodies, and changing my, my body. And I was pushing myself. And I've met the right people. I met the right coaches. And then I was starting to do meditation about, okay, I'm going to win. I've never won anything in my life. Like no gold medal, maybe a silver somewhere, but never a gold. So I was like, I'm going to give everything that, I'm going to give everything that I have. And then I did my comp 2 years ago. 3 years ago, I came third in Melbourne Championships.
Okay. And
then I competed the very next year again. That's when I started to do meditation very profoundly. And then I was like, I need to do it. And I went to Sydney by myself, and I didn't think I was going to win, but I did win.
So you won the whole. What was the title for the?
It was fitness model, intermediate fitness model category that I won. So regardless of it, there was a gold medal that I won.
Nice.
There's a video actually. I just made my YouTube vlog just very recently. Someone just made that. So if you are watching, just probably watch that. And then I won, and my company's name is The New Golden Age. So that is where I'm helping other people to become their best version of themselves. And then I found this meditation, which I just read a book, and I listened to the audiobook, and then doing more of that. And now everything is expanding. However, my values are changed now. They do change. So that's why I keep an eye on what are my values, what am I highly valuing. And these are 13 questions. We talk about time, space, energy, money, everything that you're actually doing in life. What is your soul's calling? And when we understand that, that is the potential. That is where you are loving what you do. You make more money if money is your highest value. It doesn't have to be. Some people don't have money as the highest value. There might be relationships, right? So it is understanding yourself. That is why, as a vegan, if someone's eating meat, I don't have that judgment on them because they're on their own journey. journey, and perhaps that is helping them to get their values at that particular point. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So all of a sudden, I'm non-judgmental about that too. Everyone is experiencing and they're on their own journey. But from experience, I can tell you that having a plant-based diet is going to help you connect with your higher dimension or higher version of yourself easily.
Okay.
That is the point that I'm trying to make. But again, it's not a mandatory thing, you know?
So let me ask you a question. So how has meditation positively impacted you?
Oh, I can't even tell you.
Can you try and explain, like, with words, like how has meditation improved
So I want to basically dive into meditation, what it is and what people perceive it to be. So meditation, most people think close your eyes and sit there. Now your thoughts are running in your mind, right? It's the natural way your brain works. It is a problem-solving machine, and it's taking all the memories of the day, of your life, and trying to solve that problem, coming back to balance. So when you're meditating, there is a specific way of breathing. When you do that, you basically are building that energy up, and a breathing technique that what I do moves up that cerebrospinal fluid through your brain in the middle of your skull, which is called your pineal gland. I do a pineal gland meditation. And when you are doing that meditation, it's pushing pressure on that pineal gland, which is called the third eye. And then when you are pushing that pressure on there, and when your eyes are closed, everything is black. There is nothing there. So you are, in your mind, creating something from nothing. You have to just do that breathing exercise and just be. When you are being as a complete observer, you get into these states of such calmness, and you can stay there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Most people do meditation for like 10, 20 minutes. But when you do this breathing technique, which is taught by Dr. Joe Dispenza, you can stay there for a very long amount of time. And when you come out of it, it feels like someone's just giving you a massage on your feet, that's how my experience has been. So there's been a lot of healings that's been done. Now, that is the spiritual method. That's what meditation does. It clears my mind. It clears my mind of all the traffic that my brain has gone through in the day. And now I have the ability to think a lot more clear. And my intuition, or, my mind is working at a higher potential. And that's when I'm able to make better decisions of the day. And I've definitely noticed this. The days that I don't do meditation, I am in emotional states more. There is that meditation brings calmness and brings that ultimate serenity. So you are more calm in your day. If someone cuts you off the corner when you're driving, you don't get pissed off because you are in such a bliss state. That thing doesn't really matter to you. So that is how meditation has changed my life. As an entrepreneur, that is a must, because it will make you have decisions of, if you're running a company, if you're, running your life in a very efficient way. That's where meditation is very important. And this is why veganism, if you have the power of a plant-based diet, because that's where everything starts. Our peace starts from our plate. It will help you. Now, if you are starving on a deserted island and you have no other food source, you need to eat it. Okay, fair enough, because you need to survive. That's your highest value at that point. The thing is, you're not always in survival. We live in a first world country where we have a lot of resources available. Perhaps, maybe, understand the nutrition, and which I teach, by the way. Understand that nutrition, and once you've got the alternatives, and then make small baby steps to get there and experience that. That is what I would want everyone to have the advantage in life, have whatever their purpose is. So that's basically the game of it, becoming the best version of yourself, having love in what you do, love for yourself, love with the relationships around you, and having a fantastic experience in life.
Yeah, well said, Gov. Definitely agree with you that meditation does give you an advantage in life. And for me personally, I'm going to share a bit of my own backstory. I personally meditate. I try and meditate in the morning, and I'm not super strict on myself. Like if I don't do it, it's fine. If I do it, great. So and I just do 10 minutes in the day, and for me what it does is it just centers me, balances me, and I feel like my thinking process is a lot sharper, is a lot more things slow down actually. I feel like for me things slow down and I can actually see the world as for what it is, as opposed to, you know, when we react emotionally, we're kind of rushing and we're not really making good decisions. But when we kind of slow down, take a breath, relax, okay, which way do I go, left or right? I go left because it's a better way, you know. So yeah, for me, that's the benefit of meditation. Yeah. Personally, yeah.
And also because that's the spiritual way, you know, obviously, you know, that's what I would promote, because you would be able to enjoy that experience and have better understanding of yourself. Now, that is you closing your eyes and having that understanding. But John Demartini's method is having an understanding of yourself, your perceptions, your beliefs, when you are awake. So in the breakthrough experience, we go through which is the person that you resent most, for example. And that would be yourself. And then we neutralize those perceptions, beliefs, and there is a method to it. So when you are doing that, so someone who is very intellectually smart can do that, because not everyone wants to meditate. They don't know how to meditate. So there is another alternative there. If you are someone who believes in your five senses, which your perceptions, beliefs, you know, memories that you've formed, and you want to do that, work with Dr. John Demartini. And the best thing would be to do both. You have the spiritual advantage, you have the mental advantage, so that you can have better understanding of your emotions and who you are, and so that you can become more spiritually aware as well. So 4 areas of life. So we 4 areas. So mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. So mental and physical, we have a lot of control of, and then you can have with your John D's work, and that helps you to grow spiritually as well.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So we've just to recap, so we've covered the dietary, the nutrition, and we've covered the mental aspect. We've covered the love aspect. We've covered wealth aspect. I think have we covered everything? I can't think.
Social impact, maybe. Like
social
where
impact.
We are heading as a world, and what is balance in the world like? War and peace. I don't know. Veganism and eating meat. You know, what is the balance? What does the world come to? That social impact, perhaps. Maybe on spirituality. Yeah,
sure.
Maybe. Social impact. Okay. All right. So everything is duality on Earth. On Earth, the way, so we've got day and night. We've got hot and cold weather, and we have a conscious and unconscious. So when in the part of the world right now in Australia, so sun is out and sun is shining, it's daytime, but at the same exact time there is nighttime on the different part of the world. But let's say the day part is your conscious and the night part is the unconscious. So you don't know about that, but it is happening. It is truth, right? So when it comes to duality, you have both truth, and they're always going to be in balance. War and peace goes back with balance. There are so many people who want peace, and they're going to war to have that peace. Does that make sense? So if you become extreme in one single area, eventually you will become that.
Yeah, I'm following. Yeah.
So when you want to have a social impact, that is why, as a vegan, I am not one of those people who is pushing that agenda, but I am at the same time understanding and showing people that there are 2 sides to the coin, and maybe perhaps it's up to you to how you balance it. At the end of the day, we as a social, you know, all people on Earth, we are trying to solve a problem of global warming at the moment. It's a big one. People who want to live on Earth and not on flat Earth. Did you get the joke? I was like, not on the flat Earth.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
But so basically, we are trying to balance things out. So for a very long time, things have been out of balance, but now we need to bring it back to balance so we can sustain living on Earth. So if you want to have the best social impact, you need to, you're basically working on a problem-solving thing, which is your life, your relationships. So in order for you to have the maximum impact on yourself and the others, understand where is that balance. Understand where you are out of balance. So
Yeah.
sometimes you're in war within yourself, sometimes you're peaceful within
Please
yourself,
fix
but they're
the mic.
both.
Oh crap. Let's see if this guy's on. Is this guy on? Hey, what's...
Hey, Dark Michelle, YT.
Nah, I think they're gone. That's all right. I knew this problem. Anyway, that's fine.
Hang on, it says it's working here.
Yeah, I think it's coming through as double.
Ooh.
Testing 1 2. It's not that bad. It's not perfect, but it's not that bad. It's you can still listen to it. Maybe people are on the. Anyone who's on the live stream right now, can you just give us a sound check? What's the sound like at the moment? No one's there. Damn. All right. That's fine. Sorry to cut you off there, Gov.
That's right.
So we were talking about
Social impact.
yeah. Maybe we make this the last topic,
This is the last
and
topic.
this is the last topic. All right.
So basically, having everything on Earth is duality, so there's balance. It's kind of funny because last week you had someone who was talking about eating meat, and now this week totally veganism. So that's balance. So peace and war back in balance. So we have both sides. We have the angelic and the demon side. No one only has one side. So when we own all of that, bring balance. That's where society is. And I think we've talked about love. I think that's love. Anything that you want to take from this podcast, I think love is the highest form of intelligence for yourself and for everyone.
Okay. It's a beautiful message to end the show on, and yeah, it's great, yeah. And I think just to end the show on, how can people reach out to you? How can people connect with you? What's the best way to connect with you?
So the best way is I am on Instagram quite a bit, like everyone else. I'm on Facebook, so my Instagram handle is GKStar, so GKSTAR.
Yep.
And GKAYSTAR.
GKAYSTAR. All right.
You can down, that'd
Sure.
be great. And on Facebook, my fitness company name is The New Golden Age. And if you just message me on Facebook as well, I'm more than happy to help you guys out if you are looking to transform your body. And it doesn't have to be with vegan fruit. Happy to help everyone. Love right there.
All right. Peace, guys. Peace and love.
Great. Thank you, guys.